You've got a fire in your belly, a passion to serve, and an insatiable drive to contribute. You know that if you can just get your message in front of the right people, you can change lives. But where to start? There are so many options, so many moving pieces. You get bogged down, overwhelmed, frustrated, while the burning desire to serve others consumes you. I know, I've been there. And these days I bring life-changing impact and value to people's lives through the creation of books, funnels, online courses and coaching programs, and virtual summits. This is the Call to Serve podcast. I'm Tim Cooper, and this is my journey. Have you ever seen a child give up trying to learn to walk? I mean, how many times do they try? Boom, boom. If they, tried 3 times and failed and just lay on the floor, or 10 times, whatever, and just lay on the floor and said, you know what, I'm over this, I've tried this walking stuff is just too hard. I've tried it 10 times, I failed, I give up. How many times have you seen a child do that? And then once they learn to balance and move on 2 feet, a little bit later on, they try to balance and move on 2 wheels, right? And it's the same process. They crash, they fall over, they take skin off, they bash their heads and that sort of stuff. And yet, most of them, maybe some kids do, maybe get too fearful and not continue, but the vast majority of those kids will then just persevere to the point where then the riding the bike and the walking and that sort of stuff becomes second nature. And how, when you see a child who really, really wants something and they just can't hear the word no, and they will ask, and they will ask, and they will ask, and they will ask. Why? Because they want that thing really bad. They want that thing really bad. And they're not going to listen to no. They know what no means. But they think if they ask enough times that they're going to wear you down and you're just going to go, okay, goodness gracious, go leave me alone, kid. All right? Kids, fantastic models to learn from because they just don't know how to quit. And they don't see failure as bad, they see failure as lessons, as experience. And they just pick themselves up, dust themselves off, and try again. So what happens when we get to adulthood? What is that paradigm shift, that massive shift that takes you from this relentless drive to get what you are seeking, whether it's walking, riding, a cookie and ice cream, and not taking no for an answer and not quitting? What is that shift? What's that flip that then as soon as you're an adult, it's like, I can't. Is it social conditioning? I mean, what is it? What changes? I think sometimes on the way, it's things, society has changed. I know when I was a young child, the word was, go to college or go to university, get a degree, get with a company, and then work with them for your entire work life. So your entire work life is at that one company, and then you retire at 65 and you get a gold watch. That was when I was very young. Now, I never followed that. I switched and changed jobs, and I even switched and changed professions along the way. And I think that's the way society is now. It's like, does the kid really know what he wants to do when he's 17, 18, making a decision to go into college and university? And there's no stigma attached to to switching vocations now. There's no stigma attached to changing jobs. And I think these days too, that because the society has changed, I don't think a lot of employers show the loyalty to their employees like they did back when. The point is, a lot of reasons why we give up on our dreams and on our ambitions is maybe we just don't want it bad enough. Maybe we just don't want to get up and brush ourselves off and try again. And this is another reason why a lot of people fail in business. Well, a lot of people fail in business is because they go out there with qualifications, but they don't have enough finance, the capital behind them, enough money in reserve to fuel the business while it grows, and then it can fund itself and then scale. They just go out there, they've got probably enough money in the bank for a couple of weeks rent on a lease, and then they just hope that they're going to get their clients and the business is going to grow. I think that's one issue. But the other thing too is that the expectation of instant gratification, right? So basically, these days, like when I was younger, we didn't even have faxes. I grew up in a house that had a rotary dial phone, and then it was a big deal to get a touch button phone. And if somebody needed to get a message to you in a hurry, they actually had to send you a telegram, right? So the guy from the post office had this little yellow slip of paper to get a message to you quickly. And then faxes came out, and then beepers, pagers came out, and then of course the invention of the mobile phone, and that was great, we thought, because now people could contact you everywhere. Is that a good thing now? I mean, just to be constantly on the hook. And then the fast food chains, just get in your car, drive around the driveway, order your food, go to the next window, pick it up, don't even have to wait anymore. So the society has changed to this, I want it now, I want this and I want it now. And if I can't have it now, then I'll get something else. And so it's that instant gratification issue, even when it comes to business, that you're just getting started and you're trying to find new customers, you're trying to find new clients, and you give it a good go for a little bit, and the needle just really doesn't move that much. And so in a lot of cases, people quit because they just didn't get the result as quickly as they liked. Now, once again, my favourite speaker at the time of this recording, Myron Golden, he tells a story that this guy, he started off driving a trash truck for $6 something an hour, and then in the evenings he was selling like a network marketing product. And he said, and now look, listen, this is the irony. This guy now is probably one of the world's best sales trainers. Okay, this guy is just absolutely amazing, right? He's an amazing human being. Got amazing. It's just everything. Like, yep, I love the man. But anyway, but he tells the story that he was driving the trucks during the day. Also during the day, while he was driving the trucks, he was doing a lot of personal development. So as he was driving, he was listening to personal development tapes. As he was stuck in traffic, he was reading personal development books. So he had a dream, right? He had a wife he wanted to care for, a young child, and that sort of stuff. So he had a mission. He knew that he wasn't going to be a trash man forever. But he said, like, in the evenings, he'd go selling this product. I think it was some sort of insurance product every night. And he was just doing presentation after presentation after presentation after presentation after presentation. And you know what? It took him 18 months, 18 months to make his first sale. And I think the commission on that sale was even less than $200. Now, how many of you would just stick at something for 18 months before you saw a result? You know, in all honesty, I probably wouldn't. But he wanted it bad enough, right? He was willing to stick in there until he got good at it. He understood what momentum was. Have you ever seen a steam train leaving a station? Right? Because once again, we live in a day of instant gratification. These days you get on a train or a tram and it's basically up to speed within seconds, right? With advanced motors and that sort of stuff. But I think a steam train is a great example of momentum. As it leaves the station, like the wheels are just, it's doing everything just to get those wheels turning. And then as the speed builds, it gets easier and easier. And then all of a sudden, it's at full speed, right? And then it's going to take a bit to stop it. And it's going to take some pretty heavy brakes now to slow that moving steam train, because it's in full momentum. And that's what you should see when you hit a challenge, is that don't expect instant gratification. Expect that if something is worth getting, it's worth working for. It's worth waiting for. It's worth growing for. And it's going to be tough and challenging and frustrating in the beginning. You're not going to see quick results as momentum grows. So you're going to give it a nudge and you're going to get a little bit of movement. And that's probably not going to be enough to satisfy your dream. And you give it another nudge and you get a little bit more movement. And usually that's where most people say, oh, this is just too hard. I've done all this work and I'm not getting a result. So on to the next shiny object. But then you're going to have to do exactly the same thing for that next shiny object, right? You're still going to have to get that into momentum. And the only way that you're going to get anything into momentum is by putting force behind it, sticking to it, and just keep on applying that force, apply that force. And like that steam train, it will eventually, as it works, it will get up to speed, and then it's flying. And then it's basically effortless because the momentum is carrying that train forward. Okay? So that's my message to you today is, even if you're not seeing the results that you want now, if you want that result bad enough, just stick to it. Okay? And as I said in a previous episode, if you're not seeing the results that you're looking for, maybe it's time to ask the question, is there a better way? Maybe it's time to reach out to a coach who has had success in that area that you're looking for and asking for help. Maybe it's time to read a new book. Maybe it's time to invest in an online coaching program, just to find out if there's another way to put some force behind that and build that momentum. Okay, because the worst thing, failing isn't bad, but quitting is a disaster, right? So, hope that makes sense for you today. And now, once again, if you're watching this on YouTube and you haven't done so already, please click the subscribe button and the little notification bell. Give it a thumbs up. Got any feedback or questions, please drop them into the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you're listening to this on another podcast platform, please follow the show. And if you're finding value, If this is helping, please give it a review. Please help me spread the word. I'd really appreciate that. If there's a way for you to reach out to me through the platform, please do so. If not, you can always reach me at tim@timcooper.au. That's tim@timcooper.au. Let me know what sort of content you want, know what questions you'd like answered, and I'll do my best. So that's it for today. It's another bleak, rainy day on the Gold Coast, and I'll see you tomorrow. But until then, you take care.